For more content, please consider subscribing to JTV ASMR. Hello, it is me, Pomme de Terre. None other than the most wicked and diabolical agent of chaos you have ever met. And I'm going to be whispering relaxing things to help you sleep. But not just any relaxing things. I'm going to be relaxing so cringeworthy puns that you won't be able to relax. Okay. It's gonna be good. This is gonna be good. Let's see if you can unwind to these nautical sorts of jokes and puns. I saw my friend, and he is a janitor, and he was swearing aloud. His boss came up and said, "Hey, keep it clean." A pair of horses looked at their brand new home. They weren't sure it was safe, so the first one said to the other, "Is it stable?" I saw someone mug a person with a bag of salt and vinegar crisps. He was arrested for assault with a deadly weapon. A fish spoke to a shark and said, "Why do you think it's so terrible living in the great deep blue?" The shark said, "See for yourself." I would make a Star Wars joke right about now, but I think it might come across as a little forced. What is a cow's favorite classic rock album? Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. A portly fellow found out online that the best way to lose weight is to move more. Now he lives on the next street down the lane. My other profession is a blanket detective. In other words, I go undercover. A lady had directed a movie all about frying food. The critics did not like it. In fact, it was critically panned. What did the friendly vegetarian tell the angry cow? "I've got no beef with you." People who work at coffee shops, they always are told, don't have conversations, don't speak your mind. Personally, I think they should espresso themselves. I thought it would be wise to drive in the fog, but after a car crash, I realized that was a mistake. People keep saying that I shun Tom Cruise for all of his spy movies. I say, me shun? Impossible. I live in a very small house, and it was placed in a storage facility. I was trying to look all around for it, going, warehouse, warehouse. Earlier, I was counting on my fingers how many tall people had died in an accident. I was counting the death toll. What is a cat's favorite class in Team Fortress 2? Give up. It is the sniper. Did you hear about all those witches who invaded and cast all sorts of spells inside the Lone Star State? I heard it's now called hexes. I was having a bad dream, but I dreamt myself as a great mighty warrior, punching my way through all my fears. What a nightmare! I was getting rid of all the creases in my clothing while listening to Black Sabbath. You could call me Iron Man. I work in a very specific industry. What we do is we use machineries to crank out nothing but factual information. In other words, I work at a factory. Did you hear about that Legend of Zelda game when Link could not get through a door? Well, Zelda told him, try Force. I felt a godly presence when I was drinking a delicious hot beverage. It felt like divinity. I was on a webcam call with my friend, and I was eating peas in a pod. He said, you're not eating vegetables, you're just browsing on your computer. And I said, PC? I used to be a banker, but I lost interest. What was that comedy show when they go around making gags and jokes about all the big signs around town? Oh yes, Seinfeld. I heard someone who was killed by a gust of wind blowing them over the edge and into the water. At his funeral, they read ashes to ashes, gust to gust. I recorded myself live, showing everyone that I was wide awake. It was a stream of consciousness. I was playing a didgeridoo, and then an Australian chum said I was doing a terrible job. He snatched it away from me and said, "Didgeridoo." Did you hear about that certain casino made out of nothing but vehicles? Quite the house of cards. What do you get when you combine a delicious root with a very painful deterrent for intruders? Rhubarbed wire. I am getting sick and tired of all these songs playing on the radio. Consider me sick. My 8-sided shape was stolen the other day. It was octagon. I was going to take a group photo of many people, but they all had asthma. So I got the camera and I said, "Say wheeze." I created something ingenious recently. 2 mattresses stacked atop of one another so that 2 people can sleep at top and on bottom. But the great thing is it has a built-in sensor. Anytime you lay down, you hear the funkiest music possible. I call it a funk bed. I bumped my head on the window. Honestly, I was staying there thinking, oh, window pane. I was playing Pong against the greatest Pong player in the world, a gigantic gorilla. I think his name was King Pong. I tried to give fishing a try, and after the first catch, I was hooked. Did you hear about the lady who tried to resurrect an army of famous writers? She had to perform an incantation. Okay then, that's all the puns from me. I hope you'll be trying to relax now, because it'll be so impossible knowing that you've listened to a diabolical collection of terrible puns. And you're thinking, oh, I want to relax, but I can't. All those puns made me cringe so much. Pomme de Terre strikes again. Anyway, enjoy your attempts at a nap now. Ta-ta. Bye-bye.